Hey guys, so I'm back, and just full disclosure, this is going to be the third time I've tried to make this video, and the problem that I run into is I don't want to talk about what I played, lost, won, whatever on this vacation, because there are other people involved, and I don't want to air their dirty laundry or whatever. It's none of my business, not really any of your all's business, if somebody lost a bunch of money to me or won a bunch of money from me. And a couple of times trying to make this video before, I've kind of slipped up, and I think I've just divulged too much information. Unfortunately, for anybody wanting to get that type of stuff, it's Buffalo's in New Orleans. The walls have memories. The players know what happens. I'm just not going to put it on YouTube. So you can always go down there and ask those guys. I'm just going to talk about one thing that I noticed that was different between this year's trip and last year's trip. Last year's trip, I didn't really have any problems at all finding anybody to play. They knew me as, well, they knew me, they didn't really know. A friend of Tony's in town for vacation. So I could play people, lose to them, win against them, whatever. Maybe I was setting my reputation at that point. This year, it seemed a lot tougher. It seemed a lot tougher for me to get what I consider to be a fair game. And the only thing I can think of is that I mentioned that I played a fairly well-known player last year, and I ended up dead even on him in games. This is a guy that ran out the door for $80, but I ended up dead even on games with him. And I guess this guy's pretty well respected, and word must have gotten around that I was as good as that guy, apparently. For my mind, yeah, on that particular day, that morning, I was as good as that guy. But my average game is not as good as him, but nobody's going to pay attention to that. So what I found was that this year, people either didn't want to play me, or they wanted some type of a huge spot that I wasn't willing to get. That's just what I noticed, and right? I didn't go down there to play other people in pool for money. I didn't go down there to be a New Orleans tourist. I went down there to see Tony and learn some lessons from him. Try to get some instruction from him. And that was it. And if nothing else happened, then that would be fine. If some things did happen, and that's the part that I just keep to myself. The trip was not a disappointment for me. I guess I would just go that far. I have a couple other videos that ideas for videos that I came up with while I was down there. So I owe you guys a couple videos for that. Some things I kind of learned or thought about when I was down there. I know there are also a couple of videos that I pre-recorded before I even went on vacation. I think one is going to YouTube Saturday night, the other one maybe Tuesday night, something like that. That's fine. They take a little bit of the pressure off me of trying to keep the schedule of every 3-4 days. So that'll be nice. Then I have that, like I said, not have that pressure. That 11 won't go, Dave. That 5 won't go, Dave. So I got a really crappy lead right there. So, I'm back. I I drove home yesterday, got home about 7 o'clock. It's like a 12.5 hour drive. You know, my oldest cat was glad to see me. You know, the kittens, I'm not sure they noticed I was gone. Oh, that's the scratch. I was in a tough spot there. Didn't like it. So, I don't like to drive, but I like New Orleans. I used to live there in the '90s. I lived there. I like it there. Worst traffic city that I've ever lived in. I think I've told this story before. I used to live in Seattle. In Seattle, it's horrible, horrible, horrible traffic. It used to take me 2 hours to go 20 miles from home to work every day. 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. New Orleans was 2 hours to go about 7 miles. And that's not even the only difference. Is in Seattle, everybody, it seems to me like everybody's just has a little bit more common sense as far as driving goes. Where we would drive at 5 miles an hour the whole time. In New Orleans, it was 10 feet, stop. 10 feet, stop. 10 feet, stop. It was like that for 2 hours. 2 hours going out, 2 hours coming every damn day. So, while I do like the city, and I've thought at times about possibly moving back there, like maybe when I retire or something, there's no way I would ever move back there if I had to deal with any type of commuting situation like I did in the 90s. Because that was the 90s. This is 25 years later. I seriously doubt the traffic situation has gotten better in the last 25 years. That's fine. I didn't do any touristy shit. Once again, this is the second year in a row where I've gone down there and thought I would at least drive around, visit some of my old haunts and stuff like that, see if they're still there. Maybe go to the French Quarter. I didn't do any of that last year. Didn't do any of it this year. Get in the morning, I go to Buffalo's, get to hang out with pool players, which I really like. Shoot some pool, which I really like. They have a beer that I really like. So, why leave? There's nothing out there for me. That's what I was thinking anyway. Plus, the traffic. The traffic. Oh, God. I thought I missed that by 1.5 feet. I really did. I thought I missed that shot by 1.5 feet. I didn't. Then I get to spend the next several days trying to get used to this table and the humidity that, here in southern Indiana with my dehumidifier in my basement and all that. I spent several days getting used to the humidity and such in New Orleans, and now I got to get used to playing on a normal table again. I will. I've never been the best at adjusting to different equipment or the fastest. I'm watching a pay-per-view right now. It's Josh Roberts and Evan Lunda, and those guys are, way hell of a lot better than I am, or probably ever will be. But they go to all these tournaments and stuff, and I've always been just amazed by all those tournament people, how quickly they adjust to new equipment. Some of them doesn't seem like it takes any time at all, and they just do it. If they have an inner pool player, their inner pool player just knows almost immediately how to adjust. For me, I thought I was going to make this 5 both times, and both times I hit it long. But my inner pool player, if I try to compensate and say, okay, hit it extra short, like I'm going to try to make it here, my inner pool player's like, no, you got to hit it at the pocket. But then that's going long, and that's just because I haven't adjusted the equipment yet, and my inner pool player hasn't adjusted to the equipment yet. He let me overcompensate that one. I'm gonna make it this damn time. Maybe not. I'm not psychic or anything. But I'm gonna try to make it this damn time. Now I think a lot of times what happens is I'll miss a shot and then overcompensate, and third try will go in the hole. Didn't happen that time. Okay, one more try, and then we'll move on to something that's easier than this super simple cross corner. Yay! So this is my big vacation of the year, other than Derby City Classic. I basically take two vacations a year. I get like 3 weeks. No, what I get? I get 4 weeks of vacation a year. But most of them are just like 1 day at a time type of deals. This, I've been taking a week off in July for this thing here, 2 years in a row. And for Derby City, I take like 9 days. And I've been doing that for like 20 years. And, 2 different jobs. No, 3 different jobs. Everything else is just take a day off because I don't feel like working that day, or maybe I'm sick, so I have to take a day off, shit like that. So I guess I'm a little bit disappointed that now the vacation is over with. Well, what am I going to do? Until I retire or win the lottery or something, I'm just going to have to put up with it. So that ball went 85 feet long, and I felt like I hit it perfectly. This is just what I'm talking about, just having to adjust. I always try to know, okay, why did I just miss a shot? Did I have it, anglets on it that I didn't want? Did I cut it when I didn't want whatever? In that case, no, I hit the fucking ball perfectly, but because of the equipment that I'm not used to, it's my fault still, it's not the equipment's fault, and the atmosphere and all that, it went wrong. As long as I know what the issue was, then I have something that I can potentially try to fix. Now, overcompensate. Remember I was just talking about that? Miss it and then overcompensate. And then on the third time it goes in. A lot of times it goes in on the third try. Yeah, that happens a lot. And if I could just talk them to let me have three tries at every shot, I could win a lot of tournaments, I bet. Yeah, wrong. I don't remember where it was. I'm trying to think of other shit to put on the video, and I'm not. And the last time I tried to make this video, when trying to think of other shit, that's when I kind of got into that area I don't want to get into. Who I played and all this shit. I don't know most of the people that I played. I don't know them. I don't know if they're the kind of person that would get pissed off if I got here on YouTube and said, well, gee, the guy I played Sunday morning, he won $2,000 off me, for example. Or the guy I played Sunday evening, I won $4,500. I don't know these people, so I don't know how they would react to that stuff. And again, it's not really anybody's business what the hell happened. I guess I'm just gonna have to stop the video because I'm just not thinking of anything else that is good for this video. That's it. I do have other videos I want to make, which are going to be more like single topic things, stuff I learned from Tony, that type of deal. But as far as the generic recap of what happened down there. How was my vacation? I don't think there's anything else that I really feel comfortable saying. Again, I'll apologize to anybody that was expecting some kind of a big after the fact action report. I just don't have one. And I've never been like that. And I'm not going to start being like that now that it's here on YouTube. It's just not. I would not want anybody. Hell, for all I know, maybe I played somebody that has a YouTube channel. And if they do, I don't want them to get on there and go, well, I played this Dave guy from Indiana and I kicked his ass. Or I played this Dave guy and he kicked my ass. I don't want anything like that. And so I'm not going to do that to anybody else either. So, talk to you guys later.